Hello and welcome to Mukoni's Classical Piano Lessons for Beginners. I'm Lisa Yui and I'll be your piano teacher for today's lesson. Today we'll be learning some basic things. First of all, I'll tell you about the basic mechanism of the piano. You'll learn how to sit properly in front of the piano and the correct hand position. You'll learn about the map of the keyboard, how the piano keyboard is mapped out, how it's constructed. And lastly, you'll learn how to play on the black keys of the piano. I'm sure you want to start playing immediately, but first, let's talk a little about the piano, the history of the piano. The piano was invented in Italy at around 1700 by a man called Bartolomeo Cristofori. And the piano was a very different kind of keyboard instrument in that it could play loud and soft depending on how quickly one struck the key. Or a lot of variety in dynamics. The earlier keyboard instruments, such as the harpsichord or the clavichord or the organ, could not control dynamics in this way by playing louder when you struck a key faster, for example. But the piano was wonderful in that it was an instrument of inflection, so many varieties and dynamics. In fact, the original name of the piano was pianoforte, which in Italian means literally soft, loud, because it was a keyboard instrument that could play soft and loud. The standard pianos today span 88 keys. Each key has a type of a seesaw mechanism. And when I press the key here, the other side, the hammer, rises underneath the strings. And if I strike this key fast enough, the hammer will strike the strings. So in this sense, the piano is a percussive instrument, an instrument whose sound is produced by the act of striking something or rubbing or shaking something. In the case of the piano, the hammer strikes strings, which causes the strings to vibrate and create the sound. Now, the hammers are also connected to some sort of it sets off the dampers, which causes the dampers to rise, move away from the strings. And so when I play a note and the hammer strikes a string, the dampers lift, causing the strings to continue their vibration. When I release the key, the dampers also go down and stop the strings from vibrating. And so we can play a louder note or a softer note depending on how quickly we strike a key. Softer if I strike the key slower, and louder if I strike a key faster.